Imagine a life where good habits happen effortlessly and bad ones become nearly impossible. Sounds too good to be true? It's not. In Chapter 14 of James Clear's Atomic Habits, you'll learn how to automate your behavior to make success inevitable. This chapter dives into the third law of behavior change. Make it easy for good habits and, just as crucially, make it difficult for bad ones. You'll see why your environment, not willpower, is the secret weapon. By designing systems that reduce friction for positive habits and increase it for harmful ones, you can rig the game in your favor. If you've ever struggled to make a habit stick or break a bad one, this is your roadmap. Ready to master the art of habit automation? Let's get started. Welcome to Book Summary, where you can unlock the power of books in minutes, not months. Get the key insights, chapter by chapter, and start learning smarter, not harder. Let's begin. In Chapter 14 of Atomic Habits, James Clear reveals a powerful insight. The secret to lasting change isn't just about motivation or willpower. It's about making the right behaviors easy and the wrong ones difficult. This chapter digs deep into how to automate good habits and strategically design your environment so that doing the right thing becomes almost inevitable. Clear introduces us to the concept of the third law of behavior change. Make it easy. We tend to think success is about big effort and constant discipline. But in reality, small changes in our environment and systems can lead to massive results over time. The idea is simple. Reduce friction for good habits and increase it for bad ones. Want to eat healthier? Keep fruits and vegetables visible and easy to grab. Want to stop snacking on chips? Hide them in the back of the pantry or don't buy them at all. It's all about structuring your surroundings so that the path of least resistance leads to the outcomes you want. One of the most compelling examples Clear shares is the story of Victor Hugo, the famous French writer. Faced with a looming deadline, Hugo struggled with procrastination. So, what did he do? He created a system of forced commitment. He locked away all his clothes, yes, all of them, except for a shawl. With no option to leave his house or host guests, he had no choice but to sit down and write. By making it difficult to procrastinate, Hugo completed his manuscript on time. This story perfectly illustrates how removing options that lead to bad habits can help us stay focused and productive. Clear also emphasizes the power of automation. When it comes to building good habits, the less you have to think, the better. He uses the example of automatic savings plans. When you set up your bank account to transfer money to your savings automatically, you remove the decision-making process. Saving becomes effortless because the system takes care of it for you. Similarly, setting up recurring reminders or using apps to track your progress can help automate healthy behaviors, like drinking water or exercising. Another key point in the chapter is the importance of designing your environment for success. Clear points out that we often underestimate how much our surroundings shape our behavior. He gives a practical example. If you want to practice guitar more often, don't hide it in a closet. Keep it on a stand in your living room where you'll see it every day. This simple shift makes it easier to pick up the guitar and play, turning practice into a habit. Clear also introduces the concept of commitment devices, tools that lock you into good behavior and restrict your future choices. These can be anything from signing up for a gym membership with a friend, social accountability, to using apps that block distracting websites. Essentially, commitment devices make bad habits harder by adding obstacles and consequences. One of my favorite takeaways from this chapter is the idea that our habits are not just about what we do, they're about what we don't do. By making bad habits inconvenient, we naturally steer away from them. Think about trying to reduce screen time. Simply keeping your phone out of reach or turning off notifications can drastically reduce the temptation to mindlessly scroll. It's not about fighting the urge, it's about removing the trigger. This chapter is a game changer because it shifts the focus from willpower to system design. Clear argues that when you make good habits the easiest option and bad habits the hardest, you set yourself up for success without constant effort. It's about aligning your environment with your goals so that the default choice is the right one. In essence, Chapter 14 teaches us that the battle for better habits is won or lost in the small, everyday decisions we make. By simplifying the process of good habits and complicating the process of bad ones, we can transform our behavior almost effortlessly. The key is to design your life so that the right actions are the easiest to take. It's not about being perfect, it's about making small, smart choices that add up over time. So, think about it. What's one small change you can make in your environment today to make a good habit inevitable? And how can you add just a bit more friction to a bad habit? James Clear shows us that with the right systems in place, we don't have to rely on motivation. We just need to set ourselves up to win. Thanks so much for watching Chapter 14. I hope you're excited to start designing your environment for success and making good habits inevitable. Remember, it's the small tweaks that create big transformations. But there's more to uncover. In Chapter 15, the cardinal rule of behavior change, you'll learn the golden key to unlocking any habit. Curious about the one rule that can make or break your progress? Trust me, this next chapter is a must-watch. Click that play button, and let's dive into the core of behavior change together. See you in Chapter 15.